The Cecil County Master Gardeners present Introduction to Cheesemaking, a workshop presented by Cecil County Extension 4-H educator April as part of our homesteading series.
Hi everybody, I am April Barcheski. I am the 4-H educator here for the University of Maryland Extension in Cecil County. I am by far not a cheese expert, but I have taught cheese making to our 4-H kids several times prior to the pandemic. So with that, with cheese making, you're going to need various types of equipment. So you're going to need a gallon of milk.
And that's whole milk?
This is whole milk, yes. You want whole milk.
And April too.
And you also do not want it ultra pasteurized because the cheese making process does not work, because when it's ultra pasteurized, it does not work.
So overall, when the milk is pasteurized, that you buy in the store, like that's from Aldi, but don't get ultra pasteurized.
Right.
Would that be like that Fairlife milk?
Yes, yes,
Like
yes. That is UP. You'll see like a UP on the label. The other thing you're going to need is cool water. I brought water from home because the water here is chlorinated, and I'm not quite sure about the water back there either. I think when I taught it before, we used that water, but not use this water, but you want the chlorine-free water. And again, you're only gonna need 1 1/4 cups of water, but I brought extra with me. The other thing is that you're going to need are citric acid, and you're going to need 1 1/2 teaspoons of the citric acid. We just ordered a kit, and again, sometimes Walmart sells the citric acid by various brands and various companies. You're also going to need rennet tablets. Rennet tablets kind of look like this. Some are plant-based, some are animal-based, so just depending on what you're looking for. I believe in these kits the rennet tablet is plant-based, but in the olden days, rennet used to come from the lining of the stomach of a calf.
So could you get that at like Tractor Supply or something?
I don't know. You might have to order it online. We just ordered a kit that looks like this that contained everything online, and it's about $25. There's various companies that do the different kits.
Yes. Question, what's the reasoning behind that, why that's needed for the cheese?
Okay, the rennet basically causes the milk to coagulate or clot up. So that's why you need the rennet. But like I said, there's plant-based and animal-based rennet tablet. There's also a liquid form of the rennet too that you can get. And then for flavoring, you'll need some salt.
Any particular kind of salt? Iodized, sea salt,
Any of those, I think, you know,
Himalayan?
yeah. The other thing is, if you don't like to use salt, you can substitute with some herbs. The other things you're gonna need as far as equipment, you're gonna need at least a gallon stainless steel pot, or any non-aluminum or non-cast iron pot, because if you're using cast iron, it'll pick up the flavorings from that. So a big stainless steel pot. You're going to need a thermometer. You're going to need some sort of colander, and they can look like this.
Does it have to fit in the pot?
No. Or you can use a colander like this. So either one works. And again, I prefer the stainless steel over the plastic because sometimes things can pick up some flavoring. The other thing you will need is a slotted spoon. And again, the reason why they want slotted is so the liquid can go through, or the whey can go through. You're also going to need some sort of long knife, because later in the process, when we do this, we're going to have to be cutting the curd to break it up. And then there's 2 different methods of stretching your cheese. So we're going to do the microwave method just because it's simpler, but also in there is also a water bath method. So you'll need a microwave bowl. And then the last thing is rubber gloves. You know, So as far as the directions, basically we're gonna dissolve 1/4 of this rennet tablet. So I've already pre-cut that just in the interest of time, and I didn't want the rennet tablet flying across the room because sometimes when you cut tablets and things, so. And you're going to dissolve that in 1/4 of a cup of cool water, so.
Alright.
You can buy the water in the store, like the.
Oh, like the purified water?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. Yeah, as long as
Distilled?
distilled is probably fine.
Okay.
You should be okay with spring water too, though.
Yeah, spring water, and spring water should be fine too.
Okay.
It's the chlorinated water, so if you're on the town of Elkton water source, it is definitely chlorinated, and it's more fluorinated sometimes than others. So you're just gonna let that dissolve and set that aside. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're going to mix 1½ teaspoons of the citric acid into 1 cup of cool chlorine-free water. And I think, so this is 1/2 teaspoon, so since it's 1½ of course, I'm gonna use 3 of them. So as you can see, it takes a few moments for it to dissolve. And then you're going to dump it in your big pot. And then you're going to dump your milk in. So pour 1 gallon of milk into your pot and you stir it vigorously.
That's gonna make a lot. Maybe I'm wrong. That's like a bird versus way.
Okay, so we're just gonna stir. So we're gonna heat it while stirring to 90 degrees. Yeah, it's gonna take a while for it to heat up, and then we're gonna have to cook it for about 5 minutes. So as far as 1 gallon of milk will make about 3/4 of a pound of cheese will be what we end up with. So basically, heat the milk while stirring to 90 degrees, and then we're gonna remove it. And we'll move it back over here. I think we're
Okay, I'm
fine.
coming over.
Put it on that hot plate.
Yeah, so you can face everybody.
And then we're going to add a rennet tablet here. I'll stir it. And it says an up and down motion like this to kind of,
Should we rinse it a little bit or?
that's fine. It's got enough in there. And then you're gonna cover this pot and let it do its thing.
For 15 minutes. Is that what you said? Five.
5 minutes.
No, this is a
5
5-minute thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so just gonna cover the pot and leave it undisturbed for 5 minutes. So yes, it is custard up if you all wanna see. So it looks like that buttermilk, as you can see. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take my big knife and I'm going to cut that curd, and then we're gonna place it back on the stove. So basically I'm just cutting the curd. In the cheese plant factory, basically they have big things that come down and cut and do this instead of, you know, a simple little knife. But as you can see, I'm cutting the curd. And then we're gonna reheat again doors, so if you wanna turn that burner on.
What did you have it on? It's red. It's red and ready.
Red and ready.
Red and ready.
105.
See how it's starting to separate into chunks? Curds.
Mm-hmm. And again, the more times you make it, the better and more comfortable you get with doing this. Hopefully. So we're gonna stir it between 2 and 5 minutes. So The more time will make it a firmer cheese, so. I'm just moving it around. I'm not like stirring like vigorously, I'm just gently stirring.
Does it still look cubey or is it getting rounder?
It's getting rounder. This is what it. Ladle it off, but we're gonna be brave here. Doris, do you wanna pick this up?
Splash though. That's neat.
So now in the bowl, that's the way.
Yes, this is the whey, and this is the curd.
Okay.
The curd here. Okay, so basically it wants us to ladle off and put it in. Put it in without breaking up the curd too much. So we're gonna be careful.
Ooh, it's beautiful. Would you squeeze it?
No, it says do not squeeze it. We'll be dealing with the squeezing in a little bit.
That's coming.
Okay. So again, we're gonna drain off as much as we can without pressing the curd too much. And then we're gonna place it in the microwave for about a minute. Okay.
I like the warming it. I boil noodles for spaghetti, and I always set it to the side and then use it all in my garden.
So again, you're gonna remove, okay, and then we're gonna gently fold the curds into one piece, which it's already naturally done that.
Like my science class.
Come on in and add some salt then. Add 1 teaspoon of salt so you can choose the same.
You said a teaspoon, right?
Yeah, a teaspoon. You don't have to put all of it.
It's in for 30 seconds.
So let's do it another, like 15 seconds, because it has to be at 130. It has to be at 135 to stretch it. And since we played with it over here, I don't think it got to that temperature. We'll see. So basically what we do now is we will be stretching the
As you can
cheese.
see, the consistency is a little bit more firm now than what she was doing a few minutes ago.
Smooth, as you can see, it's smoothing out.
At this point, it's not super hot or is?
It's hot. Maybe they meant hot gloves. instead of hot. So again, the more you work the cheese, the shinier it is, the better it comes out.
So in factories, do they do this by hand?
Machines do it, so they have big ladles and big cutters and the such.
Yeah, you can see how it's springing back now too.
Yeah.
So she heated it where we are.
Yeah, so we had done 30 seconds, but because she had been manipulating it, she put in for another 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it has to be at 135 for it to stretch correctly.
Okay.
So as you can see, it's starting to ball up.
Is that on here? Or 135?
It is on there, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's another 30 minutes.
So when you talk about stretching it, you're doing it in the bowl. We're not
Yes.
pulling it out.
It's more like, yeah, you can do that too if you want to. Now that it's at that point, you can pull it out and play with it.
Just be quick.
That's cool.
But that's the thing, at the very beginning, you definitely have to manipulate it in the bowl.
Right.
Because if not, you saw how it's just kind of oozing through her
Right.
fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's getting more elastic. And then, like you said, you could pull it like taffy. But, you know, if you don't have that technique, stay over top the bowl.
And again, I'm not a cheese expert.
then
See,
go
it's
get 'em,
getting shinier.
We have ducks and chickens and I.
There you
can
go.
hear 'em.
See how she's pulling on that now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me get that.
She's gonna have some good
So you're gonna, are you gonna collect your sheep milk?
No, they're not dairy. Or- We got a nice little blue
There-
ram, so.
Yeah. There is a herd of sheep in Maryland that milk sheep, and they sell sheep cheeses. And then we have several dairy goat farms that process their cheeses, and then a lot of their dairies that sell their cheeses, you know, they themselves don't process it there, they will send it away, to get it processed by an individual.
Oh, wow, sheep said so.
Yeah, it's going everywhere.
It's amazing.
So-
I'm not saying I'm not for information, but of the ones that.
So the next thing is, we'll submerge it in 50-degree water to cool it for about 5 minutes. So we can do that now. Let's, and cool it for 5 minutes, and then you'll put it in ice water for 15 minutes. Now that I have it in there, I can add some more water. So again, here's the cheese here, and then you put it in.
How long do you put in this one?
15 minutes. It'll be 15 minutes.
Beautiful.
So our finished product looks like this. So ready for some lasagna, or
And does
you can cut it up and add some basil and tomatoes. See, I'm adding the Master Gardener touch.
So this will melt
A little
just
bit.
like, I mean, it's real mozzarella cheese.
Yep, it's a real mozzarella cheese.
In an hour. It's amazing.
Yeah.